Yeah, I'm very busy. What's going on?
Hello, and welcome to Small Screen Live, or the Small Screen Show, or whatever the hell you wanted to call it. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you guys are all doing well in the chat.
It's called Small Screen Live.
It's called Small Screen Live. But I just saw someone in the chat call it the Small Screen Show, and I quite like the Small Screen Show. But let's stick to Small Screen Live. I hope you guys are doing really well tonight. Before I get into all the comments, we're going to be talking about the Book of Boba Fett's finale. We're going to be talking about Daredevil leaving Netflix. We're going to be talking about Rebel Moon casting. We're going to be talking about DC Films 2020 movies reel. We're going to be talking about the Batman. We're going to be talking about Jack Reacher. We're going to be talking about so much stuff. Michael Keaton as well, Men in Black, Norman Reedus, all that good stuff. And we're going to be talking about that. James is back, by the way. That's something we should be happy about. So, yeah, we're going to be talking about all that stuff tonight. And let's get into the chat. Who's there? So, Jedi Master EJ is in the chat saying, hello there.
Hello there.
As my camera messes up, hello there. We've got Socks Bulletins. I love that name. Saying, hey all, I hope you're doing well. Socks. Who else do we have?
Call it, Sanchez, or you'll get a knuckle supper.
Yes, call it, Sanchez. We've got Sean Harrigan saying happy Friday all. Happy Friday to you too. It's the weekend. We've got Bobby in the chat. Bobby Anderson saying happy Friday, everyone. I hope you're doing very well, Bobby. And I think that's all we have in the chat for the time being. But I hope you guys are all doing very, very well. Should we bring our co-host Clint into the show?
Yeah.
Hello. How
What's
you doing?
happening? I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well. I'm doing really well. You're part of the Sith, I see, and I'm part of Wayland Yutani. So we're both
AF.
so we're both representing relatively evil corporations, I think.
I'm representing the Leaf Village. Yeah. I'm the good village.
Hell yeah.
There you go. We're all in black t-shirts. Maybe this should be the black shirt podcast. Reviving that again.
Old school.
Right, there's so much stuff, but I wanted to know how you're doing. How's your week been, Clint?
Man, I've been busy. Been doing a lot of traveling, dealing with family stuff. I've also I started watching, what was that show called? Inventing Anna. I just started that today when I woke up. I was like, "Ooh, I like what's her name from Ozark." And so she's in that, and that looks like a cool show. So I started watching that. I also binge watched Reacher, which was a lot of fun. So it was fun to see Hawk kicking some ass, and here I am, ready to party.
That's a pretty full week. Lots of binge watching going on. I think we should start off, right? Because there's one show that I think we've been watching pretty solidly for the last couple of weeks, which is called The Book of Boba Fett. I did my own thoughts and opinions on that on Small Screen Stories, but I wanted to get your opinion on the finale. What did you make of it, Clint?
I made of it. It was very good. Well, if you're into action and fun, if you're judgy on story and why people's motivations, why they did this, why didn't they just go do this? If you're paying attention to those things, then like why didn't Boba Fett just go get Slave One and then fly back and kill everyone? It's a lot faster.
I never even thought of that.
Yeah, there's a lot of things like that in this show, and so there's
I have
a lot
a question, Clint. Sorry.
Yes, sir.
Just because you have constructive criticism about a show, does that mean you're judgy?
Not at all.
Oh, okay. It feels like every time someone has a comment about the show or constructive criticism online, it's either you're in the camp that you loved it or you hate it. You can't love it, but also have constructive criticism about it for some reason.
You can.
Like people look. Well, it just seems like every time I see a tweet of someone or like someone.
Are you saying I can't? Clint Baker
no, I'm
can't?
saying in general, like.
Oh yeah.
Like, from what I've been watching from the general conversation online, it's like either you love it, or if you criticize it even a little bit, then they call you like a Star Wars bro, and you or like you're crying, right? Like you can't just talk. Have a constructive conversation about unless it's on small screen here, but so like I have problems with it with the show, but I enjoyed it and I loved it, but it could have been better. But it doesn't mean. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I know exactly, and that's actually a I'll call that an ailment on society, that people have to pick a side. It's like getting into topics that I don't like to talk about, but you can't. You got to either be Democrat or Republican. You can't be a little of both. That's crazy talk. You have to be a 49ers fan or a Dallas Cowboys fan. And you have to completely hate the other side. It's like, dude, what if I like the 49ers and the Cowboys? But people are very I was going to say tribal. I don't know if that's okay in this day and age. Somebody told me they got corrected at a work meeting for saying tribal. You can't say that anymore. I'm part Cherokee, so I'll say that it's okay. But people are crazy is what it is. People like to fight and nitpick because they have a computer screen separating them from other people. And if you sat down in a coffee shop with somebody and had a real conversation, you probably have a really interesting conversation about the Book of Boba Fett. But since you're in a thread somewhere, you're like typing away, talking smack. If you had Jack Reacher on the other side of right in front of your face, you probably wouldn't say half the things that you're saying.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? But I do. At first, I didn't realize you were being sarcastic about society. But you're absolutely correct. I think it's terrible that people can't have a little constructive criticism, and also you got to suspend, disbelief a little bit to get through life. Now, I'm guilty of that completely. Everybody says Clint likes everything, and I just kind of ran with it. But sometimes when you're watching Jupiter's Legacy and you see a bad beard, you got to call it out, man.
Exactly.
Well, that's kind of the thing with Book of Boba Fett with the mods and some of the just the way the directing is, and I guess I didn't even think of Slave One, like you said, right? We were not supposed to call it Slave One anymore, but Boba Fett ship.
They call it, what is it, a fire spray or something weird like
fire
that.
Spray, is that what it is? Yeah,
but I think that's the class of ship, so it's still technically called Slave One. They just don't call it that anymore.
I forgot. I've been saying that for 40 years, so that just came out. But
so we know you loved it, Clint. So what didn't you like about the finale? Let's go with that route.
Well, there's a lot of things, like I said, about this season in general, and I think part of it is I appreciated certain directors' choices as far as just vibe, and we know I'm talking about 5 and 6 when I say I appreciated their versions of things, like the mods and stuff. I'm like, okay, I can say, okay, they're gonna have some mods and stuff. What bothered me is like certain episodes, like when they took Fennec Shand into the mod clinic. They have like all of a sudden you go in there and the hair, it turned like the hair is just stupid, like colored hair and just different things that felt like it didn't feel like Star Wars to me. And you hear like the music was like I'm like, why are they playing Prodigy? Is that in Galaxy Far Far Away they play mid-90s like techno horror or whatever you would call that band, you know what I mean? It's like Prodigy. I am the fire starter. That's what. And I tell you, psychosomatic, addict, insane.
I'm like, dude, my jam.
Yeah,
that's a good song.
Yeah, and I'm like, I'm cool to listen to that if I'm having some burgers over at James' place, we're having a barbecue in Canada, then cool, let's play some Prodigy and hang out. But if I'm in a galaxy far, far away and I drag somebody who's got a gut shot and I need a mod done, I don't want to hear the Prodigy. I'd be like, dude, I don't know if you're qualified. Are you on X right now? Do
you think those are studio mandates? Because like Maura Morrison said in an interview that like as actors we don't get choices of who they bring in for characters and stuff, and we just kind of have to live with it. And that was his response.
That's like in everything though.
Yeah, but that was his response to the backlash of the mods when they first appeared.
Well, he's like the lead of this. He's like the spokesperson for the show. Mm-hmm. So he's just gotta if he thinks it sucks, he can't say it sucks. So he just has to say, yeah, well, sometimes they make choices, but we had a great time. And my favorite part is he just changed the subject and go with it. You know what I mean? And or if you're like, oh, that was my favorite song, you're probably not gonna hear him saying that. Like, yeah, I actually that was my playlist they were playing. But I heard I listened to tons of podcasts and stuff, and I've been doing a lot of driving, so I've been listening to all kinds of things. And You know, I heard somebody else talking about like this is a planet with in a universe with spaceships and stuff. And they're having problems transporting spice through these territories. Why don't they just land their ship in the territory they want to be in instead of worrying about trains? And I go, wow, I didn't think of that. And I mean, there's a lot of stuff like that. That's just like, if you think about that, you're not going to have fun. And so I'm glad I was able to do that. But there's, man, I did a reaction video. I recorded it. I never posted it because I got busy. I had to leave town. But there's a couple of things. My honest reactions to certain things are pretty hilarious on a couple of things. And one of them, there's the guy that had the iMod. There was one point where they were having this battle, and he was like, I think he said, "I got this" or something, but he just did a complete turn, and then
I got you.
and I said,
I was like, what the heck? Come on.
I laughed out loud when that happened.
I did too, and I said, "Hey," I went, "Nice turn, bro." I think is what I said. I was like filming myself watching this. I go, "Nice turn, bro." But there was several things like that, and there's also a funny shot of that, or funny clip of myself going that I watched, and I just went like this. Vespas, and I just said Vespas because as soon as they came into the shot, like boom, all of a sudden it's like, oh, they're back. And also when they come to the rescue, it's just like, dude, that's just not I wasn't feeling it. So I didn't like that. I don't like to me it feels like I was saying this to you, James, in a text, like, but I saw We Could Be Heroes, and I feel like maybe I feel like maybe either he got some bad direction from the producers, from Favreau and stuff, of how to handle this. But like in his episode of The Mandalorian, it was all action. So I'm like, cool, because he's good at action. But I feel like at normal, just delivering information to the audience, I feel like he might be stuck in kids content mode.
That's
because
the thing. Yeah,
because everything.
Go ahead.
Because he felt everything he said, and he is dealing with the script. So whoever wrote the script is also responsible, but everything felt super, super dumbed down, like an episode of Bonanza or something. Like if you watch those old cowboy shows from the well, like, gee golly, I think we're going to have to go to town then. Well, you better watch out. Well, let's go. And then they go, it's like they explain what's happening instead of just acting it out. Is how I felt on his episodes. You didn't get that when Bryce Dallas Howard, and I'm not trying to give her a medal or anything. I'm just saying it was a total different show when she came
on the script, right? Like it's and Rodriguez being the executive producer, you think he chose his second episode to direct was with the Mod Vespas, or do you think that was just like no one else was, so he's like, okay, I guess I'll have to do it? Because I was like, hey, we got to sell some toys here, right? Maybe that's like a Disney exec thing. We got to sell some toys. So
this is one of those things where we don't know what happened behind the scenes. We could sit here and start getting in an argument about, I like From Dusk Till Dawn, so I'm going to argue this point all night. But the reality is, it's just like one of those things where we're talking about WB execs and whose fault something was. We don't freaking know.
No, but it's nice to theorize, though.
It's fun, and that's why
we're watching this, and we know the directors, and we know what they're capable of. Like Bryce Dallas Howard, I'm watching her episode, and I'm thinking, okay, so should she get a regular script like everyone else got? And she's like, I'm going to make this a very artistic sci-fi space opera for the first half, because that's what it seemed like. It was something out of like 2001 almost to me, the way she directed it.
Yeah, absolutely. And she could have also been told, because Favreau, he's gluing this whole universe together, this Disney universe of Star Wars together. He could have said, hey, since we're going off into Mando content, let's make it look a little bit more like Mando. He could have told her to do that. You know what I mean? Like if you'd have told her, hey, can you make this look like a bad modern version of Gunsmoke? She could have probably done it. You know what I mean? Too. She's got a lot of talent, and so
she did have the episode in, I think it was Mandalorian season 2. Where it was like the town versus the AT, and that was like an episode of the Rifleman or Gunsmoke or the Magnificent Seven, right? She did a great
more
job.
like Magnificent Seven. Yeah, or
not-
some like war movie where like you're fighting, you're helping the local natives in Vietnam fight the whatever, yeah.
She's,
But
she's
With
directed 2
Christopher Walken.
episodes of The Mandalorian, hasn't she? Bryce
Yeah,
Dallas
she
Howard.
Yeah.
yeah.
I was blown away by her episode in this season. I'll tell you that much.
Me too, dude. I was talking to Edward the other day. As soon as that dark saber came out, I was like, "Holy crap!" and like cut the dude in half on the table. I was like, "Dude, now this is what everyone has been like waiting for." As soon as I saw that, I just said, "Finally, it's happening. This is what I've wanted to see." And she kicked ass. Now I'm gonna say this episode was action packed and fun, but there's a lot of things that went down like no, we have to stay here. With instead of going to the palace and we have to do this and blah blah blah, and like, okay, I will listen to you. And
They're smart
anything-
technological people. They could have come up with a real reason why they didn't have to go to the palace.
yes,
Sorry, Edward. And the other thing I wanted to get your opinion on, guys, is so they said, "Oh, we got to wait for reinforcements in Freetown." Oh, wow, nice. 8 guys show up, and then they all just start shooting at the droid shields. Like, yeah, your blasters aren't going through the droid shields. There's other ways to get it distracted.
Honestly, that you can pick this episode apart, and it's really easy to do that. And for me,
It's a shame it's easy to do that, Edward.
Yeah, but it is a massive problem. But I was sitting there watching this, thinking I am enjoying this, but there's no real substance to it, and everything that happens is kind of dumb. Like, and anything involving the mods is ridiculous because the mods are the ones that say we should stay here and not go back to the palace. Then every line that they have is just really bad. And I don't get what, like, whose fault that is. I don't want to blame the actors because I don't think that's fair. I do think it's Jon Favreau. I think a lot of his writing is a bit suspect. Like, and I think this might just be a problem with the whole, like, Jon Favreau. He's very good. He was very good at doing The Mandalorian. But I think if anything, this season reminded me so much of that movie that he directed that was awful called Cowboys and Aliens, or Cowboys versus Aliens, which was just terrible. That film was terrible, and there's a lot of similarities you can draw between, especially the Book of Boba Fett and that movie. They're just not very well written. And the episodes that really worked. I mean, Jon Favreau did write the Bryce Dallas Howard episode, but Dave Filoni is credited as a co-writer on episode 6, which is why I think that those 2 episodes, 5 and 6, were, I think, quite strong. I think this episode, I said it in the review, this episode is definitely Robert Rodriguez's best episode of the series, but you're right. It felt like a kids show. It didn't have that impact that episode 5 had. It had the mods just ruin every scene they're in. Like they really do, and I hate saying that because I feel bad for the actors, because I actually think I can't remember her name, but the woman that plays,
she was good.
Well, you say that, but then you're like,
you're talking about Sophie Thatcher.
Yeah, the one that's in Yellow Jackets.
She plays Drash. Yeah, Sophie Thatcher.
But I just felt that scene when that she's like, we can't go out any further of out of the whatever Mos Espa. I know this place. I felt like it was like those really bad lines in the Rogue One trailer where she's like, is it Felicity? Oh, what's her name? Felicity, the actress that plays the lead. I can't remember her name, but she's like, we rebel. It's all kind of like it just felt really stale, and that twirl thing just took me out of it completely. I was like, what the hell are they doing? They don't. Those characters, they do not look like they belong on Tatooine. They belong in, like, them, that there was that scene in one of the prequel movies when I think it's Attack of the Clones, maybe the beginning of Attack of the Clones, when they're chasing after the bounty hunter, Anakin and Obi-Wan, and then they end up kind of going into kind of the grimy underworld of, I think it's Coruscant that they're on. I think that's the planet they're on. That they felt like they belonged in that movie, and it's like, to me, it's like that's like those characters are like bad George Lucas Star Wars characters, and for some reason they decided to put them into this. Even the Vespers were apparently an homage to, was it American Graffiti or something like that? I mean, it just,
You get those vibes every time I see them.
Yeah.
I feel embarrassed, but it also reminds you of the prequels, right? And they have
Yeah, they
like,
really do. Yeah,
it's Star Wars, so they want to appeal to kids,
yeah.
but they didn't.
But it's
I
like-
mean, I guess
it's
they
in
had
all the
that
wrong
with
ways.
Grogu in the Mandalorian, right?
Yeah.
Also, the like Clone Wars cartoons and stuff. There's times where they go to other levels, and Ahsoka goes off and with those sisters. I forgot their names and things like that. There are people that kind of dress like that, but I don't remember any mods. But still, I guess if they wanted to tie this into some kind of to some kind of thing from Clone Wars, they could probably do it, and I guess start making more characters like that in the future. I sure hope they don't go that direction.
I like after they introduced the mods, and I think it was the next it's when you barely saw them, it was good, but they started to explain the whole modification part without the whole techno music later on in the episodes. That was I see what they were trying to do to explore that and expand the Star Wars universe that way with Luke's arm and everything, but it just seemed like it was a little, it was too geared to our culture, I think, instead of representing the Star Wars culture.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, there has been a lot of that in Star Wars, though, like body modification, like both Darth Vader and Luke.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Yeah,
and they want to expand upon it, but they just went the whole, we'll make it like a cyberpunk hot topic. Kind of.
She looked like a chick from Berlin with fishnets on and stuff. I'm like, come on, I was like, what?
And she turns up with the world's smallest gun.
Oh my
god!
Oh my god! It just looked like a little plastic toy from McDonald's, man.
And I was like,
Men in Black,
you're like, you're completely modded. It's like you should have something cool, like at least like have like something come out your arm or something. Like this is from the guy that directed. What was that film he directed? Was it Planet Terror? Where is that Rodriguez that directed that? When it's like the girl with the
machine gun leg.
Machine gun leg, and I'm like, he gives this girl like a tiny gun. Was it all just for that gag when like she gives it to the guy and he's just like, looks at this like, what's this?
What did they really do though? That's, I mean,
they did, but that's the whole thing. They did nothing. They did nothing. They were completely useless.
They were warm
like
bodies.
Amber Heard in the desert in Zack Justice League. Right?
Literally, thing is, I don't want to be mean to them because I can only imagine how. But also, just they're all kind of too like they that there's that there's the scene when they come in and they're all on their Vespas, and the one that does the twirls like, I'm going to do something really cool, and all he ends up doing is falling off his bike. And it's just like, what? You are so useless, the lot of you. And there's one of them that literally he's kind of too pretty. He's too much for it. He's very rarely on the screen, but there's a third one that's very like, I think I've got an echo going. Is that what's going on now? Something's happening. Okay, I've got a bunch of echoes and things. Something's happening. I can't quite understand what's going on. Yeah, but like I was watching it, I was just like, there's one guy in particular that's in like a long like almost like a cloak. I was like, they look so out of place. They should be put on Coruscant or something. I do not understand what they were doing.
Shoehorned, right? It's shoehorned. Yeah. It's like, oh, we'll put these guys in, hopefully get a spin-off series or something.
And they had one of them that had like a hydraulic foot, and he started kicking the cruiser next to him. I'm like, is that all you have? Is like a jackhammer foot that just hit? Like, I don't know if you remember what I'm talking about, but I was like, what is happening?
I do. But there's so much stuff with them that's just like, I don't understand what's going on with these.
It's like the guy with hooves from Inhumans, right? Exactly. He's this big muscle guy with awesome weapon training and goes around and kicks people in the ankles.
Well, when you decided to get that mod, like, what do you do with that jackhammer foot when you're not riding a in a chase or something? Like, I think I'm gonna get a jackhammer foot. I think that'd be cool.
I can work construction in the off hours.
Oh man, I do not understand like that. I think that's just bad writing. It's like they came up with these characters that they just got too attached to, and I was like, what's the point? It's like bad. It's everything that's bad about Jon Favreau, I think, as well, in those characters. I really do think it's a lot of him.
If they utilized them, it would be a different story, right? But just to have them there for the sake of having them there, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
On a positive note, when they sent that douchebag guy, I hate the the major domo mayor's assistant guy. I hate that guy's guts. Yeah, I hate his guts. Like he's the worst, which means he's great because he's supposed to be obnoxious. You know what I mean? But like I'm like, oh, this guy. But when they sent him out with his terms, I knew. And I knew immediately as soon as he sent him out, I go, dude, he's gonna tell him, he's gonna give him nothing, and it happened, and I got excited. Then they came out guns blazing, and then that was really fun for a little bit. And there was a scene too where like a quick little instance where Boba Fett used his like jetpack to thrust himself down, and he slid kind of underneath the shield of that thing, slid to the side, and then started doing stuff. And that was super cool. And I was like, if they'd have made him a little more agile like that more often in this show, it would have been a lot more satisfying for Boba Fett fans, because nobody wants to see a clunky old guy bumbling around. They want to see him like kicking ass,
Right. I gotta say, that scene where the mayor's assistant went out, it was the first time I didn't want him to die. I'm like, oh, okay. Like, I was actually feeling for him in that moment. It's like, I don't know. I didn't want him to die for some reason.
Why didn't he read the tablet first before going out?
Why not, right? And was it me or did Mando's mechanic lady, what's her name, Clint? You would know this.
Yeah.
No.
But I can't remember her name.
She was super cheesy in this episode.
But she's always cheesy.
But
every time.
So.
She's always.
Peli Moto. She's Amy Sedaris is the actress.
Yeah.
Wow. And also, I just love the fact that it's like, you literally, can you not hear all the explosions that are going on? And the first thing you decide to do is bring Grogu into the middle of like what is literally a world, like a war. It's all-out war that's going on.
Hey, Mando, have I got a surprise for you?
People do such stupid things like in this episode, but the thing is that the reason why I let it all slide is because the crux of the episode, the main characters are actually really, everything they do in this makes sense, and they're really interesting. Like this is the best Boba Fett's ever been in this episode. I think is almost just, maybe not the best he's ever been, but just as good as he was in that first episode we saw him in The Mandalorian. There were elements of that. You got to see him be really cool, his fighting style. The scene, we'll talk a bit about Cad Bane in a second, that scene with Cad Bane, but I really, really liked everything they did with Boba Fett in this episode. I loved everything they did with Mando and Grogu, which just, I think those two are the heart and soul now at the moment of Star Wars. I just love the two of them together. I really hope they don't make Grogu a villain. I've heard a lot of people saying Grogu's gonna turn to the dark side, which is something that none of his like species have ever done. That none of them have ever turned to the dark side. It would be interesting to see that, but I don't want that to happen.
I think Mando might turn to the dark side.
Do you reckon?
Yeah, there's some threads there. I'll have to
do
a video on it later.
They could do that, but I don't think they will, because again, we've got to remember that these are fundamentally, they are kids shows, really. And if this season of the Book of Boba Fett, this show has proven anything, is that that's what these Star Wars shows are. They're geared towards children. There will be elements of the Mandalorian that will be darker, but they're not going to turn either of those characters to the dark side. It just won't happen. There'll be maybe something with Bo-Katan will come in, and she'll like, or even what the two Mandalorians we saw in episode 5, they might come back and end up being antagonists. I mean, I don't know.
Well, I can tell you, there were some great things in this episode. Like, and as far as kind of dark and for a kid's show, was Fennec Shand going straight up assassin and going in there and hanging the mayor, hanging the mayor and the Pike Syndicate guys, like went in there and just straight up executed everybody in that room. I was like, dude, that's a little dark for Disney. Right on. You got to make a little room for the Punisher to come back. You know what I mean? Like Disney Plus does. Like that was really good.
I like that, but it was super fast, you know.
Oh, he didn't take very long to get strangled.
Well, no, but like the whole sequence was super fast. Like if you watch Leon the Professional, that the opening scene was done slow paced. If they just paced it a bit more, I think that would have been more impactful. You know, I just thought it was just boom, done, it's over. I'm like, and you didn't even get to release. If you saw her a bit more, I think it would impact how badass she was. But it's just me being a little bit nitpicky. So
I did think that I kept on thinking, where the hell is she? Like, because they're in like a mud hut kind of thing. So I was like, how is she hidden?
she dug through the walls.
Do you reckon?
No.
She was
But,
getting ready to do some gangster stuff, is where she was.
She was cool.
Yeah, Timothy Oliphant. This
Love
was an
him.
award-winning performance for him in this episode.
I do. I think he was really good in the last episode.
Dude,
yeah.
Absolutely, he was fantastic, and he's a fan favorite. And Black Chrysanthemum, dude, I was like, BK, I was cheering for him, dude, and like crawling through the streets with a wounded leg, and people,
and then like, 5 minutes later, he's running fine.
Yeah, he's BK, man. That dude's gangster, man. He doesn't play around.
Yeah,
he was just fatigued for a second. That's all.
Well, his foot was hanging off. It's like,
he's a gladiator, man. He's used to being wounded.
He just needs actual spikes on his shoulder pads.
That's all you care about. But no, I really, I think the end of this episode was quite funny as well, because I was like, I actually, when Boba Fett's like, my back, there's someone in my Bacta tank. I was like, did he put Cad Bane in there? Because I was like,
I thought that too.
Yeah, and then seeing that it was Cobb Vanth, I was happy about that, because and also Timothy Oliphant's hair is always perfect. even when he's in it.
Timothy Olyphantastic.
He is. I love the guy. I think he's so good, and I actually think his character would be more interesting for, like, if they're going to do like a continuation of this. I think his character would be more interesting to follow than Boba Fett, because I think this is a question that I actually wanted to ask both of you. Do you think Tamura Morrison, one of the problems with the show is that he's just not a good enough lead? Is that why they decided to kind of deviate from Boba Fett
as an actor?
I
don't think so. I think they just like I said before, I think they wanted to tell the backstory. They, like, people asked, what happened? Where's he been? We saw him all of a sudden in Mandalorian. Well, where's he been since the Sarlacc pit? How did he get out of the Sarlacc pit? They made a quick show to show what happened. And
Go ask Patton Oswalt.
Yeah, exactly. and I think actually you probably had some leftover script ideas laying around, and that Jon Favreau had, and then he said, you know what, I'm gonna duct tape this whole thing together, and then we got to let it lead into we can have a big huge standoff at the end with Cad Bane, and then we'll glue it into the new Mandoverse and have it all be stuck together. So they answered the back questions, gave whatever motivations of him trying to be a better person, and then they get to finish it out with his past coming back, and then him having to go back to being a killer at the very end, even though he wants to do the right thing. When it's all said and done, he has to go back to the beast that he is.
Not just a killer, but I was actually really impressed. That part of the episode is something that really impressed me. When he takes out that spear or whatever it is he gets from the Tusken Raiders, and that you really see that aspect of him, and that's harkening back not only to the episode in The Mandalorian we saw him in, where he's kind of berserker mode, but also it brings it back to the Tusken Raiders. And it kind of makes it, to me, I was like, actually, that is really good writing there, because that's there's a word for it, which I'm pretty sure James is going to tell me.
Comes full circle. It's the hero's journey.
Yeah, but it's foreshadowing. That's what it is.
Yeah,
and I really did like that aspect of it. And I just that's the one bit about Tamura Morrison that I think he's done perfectly here, is that those moments when you just see him, where he's obviously just like super angry. It reminds me of so many like New Zealand rugby players when they do the haka. Those moments, that face. I was like, oh my god, that's so good. Like that moment was chills. It gave me chills. And that was when I was like,
I don't think they were going back to what you said, Clint. He never explicitly said, I don't kill anymore. You know?
He didn't.
It was just
he killed everybody to get when he walked into Jabba's temple in the first place.
Yeah, so like that his whole motivations of his personality wasn't I don't think it was fleshed out that much in terms of his character. Whether to answer your question, Edward, whether he could lead a series, I think he could lead a series, but I think he should have stayed in the helmet a lot more than instead of out of it. What they did, like, yeah, you walk into a room, he takes the helmet off, or he's just standing there. Like, he had so many badass moments that would have been better with just the helmet on. It would be more menacing, right?
Yeah.
And we didn't need to see him half naked fighting a Wookiee, but right out of the back to tank. I'm sorry. And I gotta say, they really needed to work on their fight scenes in this series a little bit. It seemed a little, I guess, we can be heroes, if you want to coin a phrase. So
yeah,
Nickelodeon
yeah.
It was super
Go on.
Nickelodeon.
It was, and there are elements of this show that have been like that. But this is why I think the tone of the show is a bit all over the place.
Yeah,
because it's like it has those moments with Boba Fett. It has like the brilliant moments with Cad Bane in this episode, and like every scene he was in, I was like, oof, it's really good. And but the problem is, it felt like there were like multiple shows in one. Like, you had the kind of shitty mod show that's like, what the hell's this doing here? It doesn't make any sense. You've got all the bit with the beginning of the show with the Tusken Raiders, that until the last episode I really didn't think there was much there, and there are so many plot holes as well. And I just feel like when you say that it was cobbled together and duct taped together, I really do think this show was, as from a story standpoint, I just don't think they got it quite right.
It was very McClunky.
Yeah, which is such a shame, because the Mandalorian wasn't like that. The Mandalorian felt a bit more, although the Mandalorian, every episode was a bit kind of its own thing, and it was kind of heading towards a finale, basically. There was an element of that with the Mandalorian, especially season
cohesive,
1.
Though, right? Like,
it was.
You have a showrunner, like, okay, this is the aesthetic, this is the feel we're going for, But in Book of Boba Fett, it just seemed like, okay, here's your episode, go have fun with it.
Yeah. Which,
that was a nice Greedo quote, by the way, James.
Thank you.
McClunky.
McClunky.
Yeah, I will say they wasted an opportunity to have Cad Bane be the one that killed the Tuskens. I thought that was something that would have been a great opportunity, because he instead he was like, hey, I know how to piss this guy off, and he went over and told him exactly that the Pikes had done that. But I would have thought, as mean as he came off, because he came off mean, way meaner than in the animated series, and I was like, talking about that, I was like, dude, he's gotten mean in his old age. I figured he would say that. And the other thing about Cad Bane is, I think, well, for one, when Boba Fett busts out the gaffy stick, it's like, this is like the new Boba Fett. Cad Bane thinks he knows all of his tricks, thinks he's seen him his whole life and knows all his tricks. All of a sudden he busts that out. That was the one thing he had in his pocket that where did he have that thing? Which pocket did he have it?
Don't know.
But yeah, that was the one thing where, like, he didn't see that coming, because he is a new person. This is a new thing that he learned. This is a new part of him, which was very cool. But also, Cad Bane's little tracker thing was beeping, and I wonder if his droid's going to come rescue him. That's what I was wondering.
Thinking about that. Yeah,
I've seen a little bit about that online, but I noticed that immediately. It was beeping. It had the little light going, so I was like, dude, maybe he's gonna come back. Maybe the 71-year-old Duros will be back.
That's one.
I've never seen any Clone Wars or Rebels or anything, and I thought he was a cool character. Sorry, Edward. I just want to say
but that's actually a really good point, because there are people that will know him very well from the animated shows, but if you do know him from those, you will know that he's gone through, I think, a lot worse. If you notice, there's the scene that when he has his hat falls off and he's got like a metal skull. I can't remember how that happened. I think it is in the Clone Wars. Yeah. Do you remember how that happened?
I do. Boba Fett shot him in the head. That it was a scene that didn't ever get made. They had a standoff, and they were working on it. They did the rough. It's in one of my videos, but they did the rough animation.
You talked about this before. It sounds familiar.
Yeah, and they have a duel, and that's why he was like, I could take him. Look, they're both ready to go, because outright say it, but they've done this before, and that's how Boba Fett's supposed to have the dent in his helmet. That's supposed to be Cad Bane. He shot Cad Bane in the head, and Cad Bane shot him in the head, and they both survived. So, but yeah, it's pretty interesting. I thought for sure he was going to say, "I'll put another dent in your helmet." I was like, I was ready for that line to come out. Didn't say it. Bummer.
Yeah, they might be saving that for someone
maybe.
else.
But in his droid though is, if you watch the animated shows, like his droid is his little buddy, does everything for him. I will not be surprised if that droid shows up, and he's a klutz too. He screws everything up half the time. But like Cad Bane, not scared of anybody, not scared of Jedi, sneaks into the Jedi temple, gets arrested on purpose, and it rescues Hutts and all kinds of stuff. It does anything for money, and those breathing tubes that he has those so that he can get force choked and he could still fight. He doesn't. He's like, he didn't need him for other things. That's the only reason. He's like, that's a vulnerability. If I get force choked, I'm helpless, but not if I can still breathe. So that's something that I think is super cool. And the only other thing that they didn't have in the show with him that he has in the animated show that's pretty cool is he has boots that have like jetpack boots that he can fly with and stuff that he uses like Boba Fett does a jetpack.
I want to see those evil droids from Darth Vader comic book series and Dr. Aphra. The C-3PO and the R2-D2. They're hilarious. They're so dark and they're so murderous. I want to see them in one of the shows.
Sign me up. That sounds awesome.
I'm pretty sure Dr. Aphra is going to come into it at some point. But the one of the things about those comics in particular is they are quite dark. I'm not sure whether Disney. I mean, I think Disney is going to get over all this nonsense about only doing stuff that's like for kids. I think there's going to come a point where they're going to be like, they're just going to say, let's just do whatever, we'll do it. We'll try. I think the Acolyte's going to change a lot of things as well, because I think that show's going to be aimed at, grown up Star Wars fans. Let's not the kids.
Chapek's a money guy, you know what I mean? It's like he doesn't have the class, and again, I don't know the guy, but he doesn't seem to have like the tradition in class as Bob Iger did, for years. So who knows? One day you might even see like the Netflix shows or something flying over because
Sure, that's a good segue.
I was gonna say, before we segue, can I play? I just want to play this one more time.
That is so rubbish.
So bad. I'm not even suggesting we segue. I just thought it was a funny thing to say.
No, but talking of those Marvel Netflix shows, they're leaving Netflix.
What?
They're leaving Netflix on March 1st. This was revealed by a bunch of people that obviously wanted to watch them. And then if you go onto Netflix now, it has a little message that comes up very quickly saying this is only available until March 1st. So that's Daredevil, The Punisher, Jessica Jones, Defenders, Luke Cage, Iron Fist. I think that's all of them. They're all just leaving Netflix. So we haven't got any. I've actually emailed so many people being like, what's happening with them? Are they moving? I mean, people are like, it's a no-brainer, they're moving to Disney Plus, but that's not necessarily the case, because they might just want to just want people to forget those shows.
They have Hulu, and then in Canada here they have Star.
Yeah. They do have those, and the logical thing would be for them to put those onto like Disney Plus Star or Hulu. But then the other thing that the thing in the back of my head is like, well, what if they just want to? I mean, they do have like the X-Men movies and stuff like that on Disney Plus, so they might just do that. But I think this to me screams that Disney and Marvel in particular is like, we are going to completely erase those from the continuity of the MCU. You don't think so?
No, they opened up the whole multiverse. Like, they spent the last year opening up the whole multiverse so they can explain away these series.
Yes,
that's just a pocket universe, right? It's different. Earth.
Yeah, they could do that, but the thing is that they've only done that so far with the
Charlie Cox.
Well, not even Charlie Cox, because Charlie Cox in Spider-Man No Way Home, that is not necessarily the same version of Daredevil that we saw in the Marvel Netflix shows.
Charlie Cox playing Matt Murdock exists in the MCU timeline now.
Yes, but it
That
could be
so
just
it
a
could have
it's a
been they
different
could have
version
chose
of the
any different
character.
actor, So it's not necessarily the Netflix one, but there is a Netflix one in this universe now.
Yes, but what I'm saying is that this might come down to just a game of egos between I can't remember the name of the guy that ran the TV division before is it Jeff Loeb. Jeff Loeb. They did not get on. Kevin Feige and Jeff Loeb did not get on. They did not see eye to eye, and a lot of what they did in those shows, I don't think Kevin Feige would have ever wanted them to have done. And it'd be linked to the Marvel Studios brand. And I think I mean, I'm just speculating. I'm pretty certain that they'll end up on Disney Plus. But I think it'll be interesting to see what they do with these characters. I think it's also interesting to just think about what does this mean for the future of, say, John Bernthal's Punisher, Kristen Ritter's Jessica Jones, even to a certain extent Mike Coulter's Luke Cage and Finn Jones's Iron Fist. What are they going to do with those characters?
Well, we know what's going to happen with the Punisher. It's going to be a Western show that's very violent, and he's on the run.
Right? Yeah, but what are they going to do with the versions of these characters that we've come to know and love? Do you think they're just going to drop them entirely?
Different multiverses.
Yeah, but okay. So I suppose you two both think that they're just going to put them onto like Disney Plus, Star, or Hulu. The actual the shows themselves.
Oh, maybe after a couple of years. What do you think, Clint?
I think the people have spoken, man. They said, we want Cox. We want Cox. And they brought him over to Disney, and now we got him in Spider-Man No Way Home, and he was fantastic. And I don't think they would do that if they weren't going to bring Daredevil over to Disney Plus. Yes, it's a different version, whatever, but if they're promoting this character and they're constantly all these streaming platforms want more content to get more people to subscribe. That's just more for them to have available. And I don't know the intricacies of their contracts, but I have a feeling they had an opportunity either to re-up and either Netflix decide. I thought about this a couple of different ways. Either Netflix decided they didn't want to pay because they're like, you know what, we already made enough money off of those, and we're not going to get to do anymore, or maybe they would pay because this is going to become something that would attract viewers if he's going to start popping up all over Disney. So I don't know. It's a possibility that Disney bought him out. I think
it's like
bought out
the
their
Office.
licensing.
I think it's like the Office situation with Peacock, or Seinfeld. It's like once NBC came out with their streaming service Peacock, they're like, okay, we own The Office. Once the rights lapse on Netflix, we're going to take it back. We want our viewers,
Well, the contract with Marvel that Netflix had ended like a couple of years back now, like in 2019, I think.
That was that Marvel couldn't use those
seasons.
characters until that contract expired, but the Netflix rights to air the episodes still lasted until today.
Netflix I suppose we don't know what happened behind the scenes, but Netflix weren't able to renew the licenses, so they weren't able to pay to keep those up. Very much like
a Marvel choice, I think so.
Yeah.
Which is super interesting. I'd like to know exactly if you got any of your people in there that you can talk to, find out exactly what happened, because I would really like to know that. But I sure, it's funny, as I started looking around, we had a few minutes before the show, and I went to Netflix. I logged into Netflix and I looked, and I got I think I found the Punisher, and I pulled it up, and it said, only available till this date. Then I went over to Iron Fist and I started looking, and I couldn't find where it said only available to this date. And I think I just was maybe on the wrong screen or something, but it made me feel like poor Iron Fist is going to get left out in the cold. Like, yes, all of them are going to be available on Disney Plus except for Iron Fist. But of course they haven't said any of that. This is just me being my imagination, me having fun with it, and we won't know for a while. Well, who knows? They might announce it tomorrow, but everybody's assuming, they're going to Disney Plus. We're not going to know for a while, but I would think, I'm with James. I think they're going to have them over there. If they decide to change something, so be it. That's a multiverse thing. That's a different universe. But why would they pass up the opportunity for their subscribers to watch this content? That's just a lot of episodes for people to go back and watch who don't even know who Daredevil is. You know?
Yeah. Question: Do you think this could end up with us getting more seasons of Netflix? Well, no longer Netflix's, but that Daredevil show.
It very well could.
Well, James obviously thinks no since he put that up.
I don't think there'll be a direct continuation if they do, like when they have a new Daredevil show or Punisher show. It's not going to be a direct continuation. It's Marvel. It's Kevin Feige. He'll pull from what he likes and leave what he doesn't like on the table. So
yeah, will we see Carrie Ann Moss? Maybe not. You know what I mean? That's the thing. They can do whatever they want. You know what I mean? Like,
maybe she'll walk in with Keanu Reeves.
Yeah. Whoa.
Was Sigourney Weaver in one? I didn't watch The Defenders.
She was in it. That's right.
Was Sigourney Weaver in it as well?
Yeah.
I kind of I really liked Daredevil, The Punisher, and Jessica Jones. I watched Luke Cage as well, and I watched Iron Fist just because I have history there. But I have to say, like after I didn't watch season 2 of Daredevil because I just kind of like lost interest in the whole thing after a while. Especially I just thought The Defenders was just a bit meh. So then I watched like the first episode of The Defenders. I was like, this is not for me.
I couldn't even make it through the first episode. I think it was because I killed myself trying to make it through Iron Fist.
Yeah, I think Iron Fist really.
No, I'm not going to do this to myself again.
What about you, Clint? Did you watch them all?
No. Wait, what are you talking? No, I just looked at my screen and saw something. I watched all of the. I've seen every Marvel thing that's ever come out. if that helps. I just got a private message from James saying, "Hey, your in screen, you got a Google thing," and I'm like, "Wait, why do I have that? I didn't even know I had that." So all of a sudden, I'm trying to troubleshoot that. Yeah, buddy.
We'll let you troubleshoot.
Fixed.
Do the subscribe, Edward.
Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe.
That's it.
You gotta do it like this.
Go over there and hit the fucking like button. All right.
I'm not going to bury another Wayne, Master Bruce. There you go. He gets very, very low in his old age. Now, he used to talk like this. You're only supposed to play the bloody doors off. But then, with all the brandy and all the cigars, he got very low. But something's going on. I don't know what's happening. She was only 12 years old, 13 years old. Where's this music coming from? What? James, you come back and then everything goes to shit.
I really.
So that's
Jesus, is that true?
That's
there you go.
I really hope they bring Jessica
missed you.
Jones over. I like Jessica Jones a lot.
Kristen Ritter. The truth is that these shows probably, I may feel bad saying this, but probably minus a certain Iron Fist, were really well cast. They were really well cast, and everyone knows that. Even like Kevin Feige knows that, which is why they brought back Charlie Cox. There would literally be outrage if anyone else played like Daredevil in the MCU or anyone else played the Punisher in the MCU. There would be a massive outcry, and this is the same with Jessica Jones. The thing is that there are, like, I don't think the MCU really needs a character like Iron Fist, because they already have Shang-Chi. So it would kind of be. I think they don't want to double up on those on characters that are kind of similar, which is also why now, like, we no longer have an Iron Man, but for a very long time they did have basically two versions of Iron Man, with Iron Man and War Machine. But there was that kind of was okay. But apart from that, you very rarely get characters that are incredibly similar. And I do think that Shang-Chi and and Iron Fist would be a bit too much, kind of too samey.
I think in like 5 to 7 years, that would be a cool team up to see.
Yeah, it would be. I think it would be. Yeah, but I'm not sure they're going to do it straight away, and I think they're going to give that some time to breathe, so people can, then do the casting. Let's be honest, do the casting properly. Someone that does have experience in martial arts, I think, would be a start.
And give him time to learn the choreography too.
Yeah, he could get started now doing karate lessons. You know what I mean? But by the time 5 years from now, he'll be kicking butt.
Yeah, I mean, well, I honestly think casting your friend Simu Liu as Shang-Chi was brilliant. Like, he's perfect in the role, but he's also got like experience, not doing that sort of stage combat, and he can do the martial arts himself as well. And it really does show when you're watching the movie like Shang-Chi, and then you compare it. I mean, you can't really compare a movie like Shang-Chi to Netflix's Iron Fist, sorry. But when you watch that series and you see it's all like they're worlds apart, and you can really tell. Like, especially the first season of Iron Fist, you can really tell he was a bit better in Defenders, I think, from what I saw. But Iron Fist was just not good.
I saw an article that said he exaggerated or lied about his martial arts experience.
The stunt woman said that. Yeah, she's like, no. Oh no, that he lied about his experience to go on Iron Fist.
I hadn't heard that personally, but
on entertainment. Here, I'll go.
Is it Entertainment Weekly?
Yeah, send me the link. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, which is hilarious. But yeah, I was like, wow, you lied about your experience. Wow. Here's
send the link to James. He'll put it up on the big screen.
All right. Boom. Yeah, I thought that was hilarious.
I read the story where the stunt woman said that he had all the time. He just didn't want to do the stunts or whatever. So I don't know what's true or not.
I mean, it's probably similar. Yeah, like it's a similar sort of thing. I think he just. I don't know. That was just, in that sense, I don't think they cast the right person. I'm going to be honest. Which is kind of mad, because if you think like that, it was a big deal to bring Iron Fist to the small screen. It was it's a character that a lot of people like.
You know who they need to make the next Iron Fist?
Who?
Family.
Vin Diesel.
Right, I think we talked that to death. Should we move on to some DC stuff?
Yeah, let me just pull this up.
Bring up the article.
That's what I was talking about. I read that.
Simu Liu exaggerated.
No. That was funny to me, because you were like, yeah, I think it's great that they got somebody with experience. I'm like, I just saw an article yesterday. It said he exaggerated his experience.
He exaggerated, but I mean,
yeah,
he wasn't starting.
He wasn't properly trained. Yeah.
The other Iron Fist had none. He just showed up. They're like, okay, let's start filming. Okay, get into a kata pose. Wait, what? I don't know that.
If you want to hear more about that, go watch our Inhumans video on small screen. We break down the Iron Fist series too.
Are they going to bring Inhumans over to Disney Plus? I'm ready for that.
That's a rumor. Anson Mount is going to be coming back. He's going to be in the Eternals too.
Sorry, someone's in the chat's asking about Adam Driver. What's happened to Adam Driver?
Let me check.
The only thing I can see is he's been cast. He's replacing Hugh Jackman in a biopic about Enzo Ferrari.
In Wolverine.
He's that would imagine people were pissed off at that they made Hugh Jackman Wolverine because he's way too tall. Then you just go, fuck it, we're going to bring in Adam Driver.
7 foot tall Wolverine with his hair. It'd be like, yeah, his hair is like this big.
Well, I found the article.
Is this
That's what he's talking about.
Adam Driver's.
Oh boy,
Oh dear.
I need to read that.
He's got great hair. The thing that's so good about his hair is that it hides his ears. Because if you've ever seen Adam Driver with short hair, it's honestly it's quite weird.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. He's gonna be the Dumbo movie.
There you go. He put one up.
Oh
there
man,
you go. That's him. Oh dear.
Poor Adam
Right.
Driver.
He's great. I love Adam Driver. Well, I don't know if you saw, but have you seen the Oscar nominations? just
No, I haven't.
I didn't get a chance yet.
Well, one of the big snubs, apparently, people are pissed off about this, was that Spider-Man: No Way Home didn't get nominated for Best Picture.
Oh, come on, man.
Did any of you guys ever think that Spider-Man: No Way Home was going to get nominated for Best Picture?
No, if there was a Best Performing Picture, they could have had an award for that. But like, it's not high cinema or anything. It's not
Didn't
like
they make
high
a category
art.
for that recently?
Well, no, they wanted to. They wanted to
Right.
make like most popular movie or something stupid. I can't remember what it was. I can't remember the category, but they quickly got rid of that. But no, the movies that were nominated were Belfast, which is the Kenneth Branagh film. Coda, haven't seen Coda. Don't Look Up was nominated, which I was a bit. I like Don't Look Up, but I was a bit surprised. Drive My Car is another film I haven't seen. June, which I really loved. King Richard, which I've seen and I liked. I thought it was good. Licorice Pizza, which I think is a pile of crap.
I haven't seen that
film.
one yet.
It's you might love it. I don't. Fine if you do. Paul Thomas Anderson, I really do like his films normally, but this one, I literally it's the one with all the Haim sisters, and Philip Seymour Hoffman's sons in it as well. And I get very. There are some vibes in it that I don't like. It's about a like almost 30-year-old girl that falls in love with a 16-year-old boy, and apparently that's okay. But yeah, that's just me. Nightmare Alley, which is terrific.
Only if you're a teacher. If you're a teacher, that's fine.
Nightmare Alley, which is Guillermo del Toro's film. The Power of the Dog, which is on Netflix, and that's the film that stars Benedict Cumberbatch. And then West Side Story. So they're all the films that were nominated. And Spider-Man: No Way Home got a nomination for its best CGI, I think. Best which I can't remember the name
VFX
of the
or whatever.
Yeah,
That's
well,
the
one of
VFX,
one of the more technical.
So does
categories.
Shang-Chi.
Yeah. So there are some things in there, and the thing I mean, we're talking about Adam Driver. That made me think of Lady Gaga, who was not nominated for her incredible performance in House of Gucci, which I think that's pretty bad. I think she should have been nominated for that. But yeah, get rid of Kristen Stewart for her role in Spencer. I thought that film was pretty bad. But,
okay. Yeah, I don't think that you should have expected Spider-Man: No Way Home to get nominated for an Oscar. I mean, there was a lot of crying in it, but it wasn't really Oscar bait.
No, but I don't understand the people that thought that was going to get nominated for an Oscar. I put it in my number one spot of the movies of the year. But this is a personal list, and if I was part of the Academy, I would never want be like that film should be nominated. I'm going to be honest, there are only ever two comic book movies that I think really, and I think the one that did get nominated was Joker in the year that came out. But I thought The Dark Knight and Logan were the only two comic book movies that I thought deserved an Oscar nomination. I think all the others, I don't think they have done. I love them. I love them to bits, but they are not the types of movies that will get nominated for Oscars.
Yeah. Not to be ageist or anything, but how old were the people that were outraged with
72?
How old were these people? Because
they would have been quite young.
Yes, because like those people don't remember movies before comic book movies. You know what I mean? They don't remember. You guys, you don't know it, but there was a whole bunch of movies about all kinds of stuff. And it wasn't just natural disasters. There was movies and it wasn't just cop shows. There was all kinds of movies. And like when you see these award shows and like, oh yeah, that boring movie about a king and a knight and blah blah blah. You know, like there's a lot of different movies that aren't comic book movies. Now I like comic book movies more than the next guy. I love comic book movies, so I'm never gonna bash comic book movies. I can watch comic book movies forever. But I mean, if you're talking about like art and judging the skill of acting and how to get into character and how to direct and lighting and effects and stuff, I could see a comic book movies coming in for effects and creation awards. But as far as acting, you know, you're usually not going to get it in a comic book movie. Now I'm going to agree with you. I think Logan is one of my favorites, and dude, I'll give him an award for that one. And I cried like a 40-year-old baby when that came out. But
there was something about Logan that I think was the film that it was kind of like smaller than most other comic book movies as well that you've seen. And same kind of with Joker. I didn't think Joker should have been nominated for an Oscar, to be honest. I thought that was a bit silly.
Well,
I think it did
get two movies that are basically comic book movies based off other movies. Logan, you got Unforgiven, and Joker, you got any Martin Scorsese film. King of comedy.
King of Comedy and Taxi Driver were the two films that really that. But that's the thing, and I was. But then when you look at this list, like I think June, I think that might win. But because for me that was like pure cinema and incredible filmmaking and everything about that. I mean, I wouldn't say it was my favorite film of the year, but you watch that and you're like, this is the kind of movie that should be winning, because I think it's doing a lot to help progress cinema.
Dune?
And yes, I really do. I really do. And then I watched Nightmare Alley, I think, is brilliant, but it's also it's another one of those movies that I don't think it'll get. I don't think it deserves to win. I think it deserves to be nominated.
Oh, you went and watched it last night?
I watched it. It really is. Bradley Cooper is incredible in it, and it's a good film. I watched Death on the Nile, which is the new Kenneth Branagh Hercule Poirot film, which is terrible.
He's having fun with those, though. He's like a kid in a candy store with that genre.
With the Hercule Poirot films. Yeah, but this one was not good. And seeing Armie Hammer now is a bit weird. It's a bit weird. And especially the shit he does in the movie, you'll be like, oh god, I don't think I can watch this. Oh, dear. Yeah, but no, Bakertown in the comments says the power of dog's supposed to run away with it. It might do. I haven't watched it yet. According to the radio.
Who listens to the radio these days?
There are a lot of movies on this list that I still haven't seen. I haven't seen The Power of the Dog. I haven't seen West Side Story. I haven't seen Don't Look Up. Drive My Car. I've seen Don't Look Up. I haven't seen Coda, and I haven't seen Belfast. All the other ones on there I have. So I literally just seen 4 of them.
I'll tell you one movie that should win an Oscar every year.
No matter where you go, there you are.
Buckaroo Banzai.
That was James talking. No, James saying, "No matter where you go." I swear, dude, you could replace the sound on that, and it would sound like it. I mean, that sounds like you talking.
It would. Yeah.
Back in Peter Weller in his heyday. Did you watch the Dark Knight Returns animated movie where he did the voice?
Yes, I did. The first part.
He sounds like he's drunk in the sound booth the whole time. It's like, oh, Peter Weller, where is this awesome voice you had?
Anyway, go on.
Drive My Car sounds like a Dude, Where's My Car sequel. I don't know. I haven't wanted to see that one.
I think Drive My Car. Where is this from? I think that's probably a very bad translation. Drive My Car. Is it a Japanese film? Yeah, I think it might be. I bet you it's amazing. It's one of those films a bit like Parasite that might end up getting a lot of traction after this if it ends up winning as well. Yeah, it's Japanese. Yeah. But I don't really care that much about the Oscars this year, I'm going to be honest. I was thinking of let's do a live, but I don't think that would be worth it.
Please don't put me through that.
Yeah, I know. I used to do it for my old job. It was kind of fun in the old days. I don't know why, but I distinctly remember covering the year that Leonardo DiCaprio won for The Revenant, and that was really good fun. But ever since then, it's been a bit like I don't really care.
You should do like a special show when the Oscars are on that have nothing to do with the Oscars.
Well, I was thinking we should do like our cult movie awards of the year, like nominate films like Nobody, and and films that, and then Cop Shop, films like that I think deserve a little bit of extra love. Yeah,
I like that a lot.
I like that, yeah.
Mm. And has Bakertown asks if Liam Neeson's ever won an Oscar?
He's not.
Has he not won one? Is it because he's been in some films that have been Oscar nominated, like Schindler's List? And what was the other film he was in where he was really good? I can't remember. Yeah, but yeah, you're probably right. He's never won an Oscar, has he?
No.
And I don't. If he keeps on doing the films he's doing, I don't think he will. But he should have won for Darkman. Oh dear. But I think he's been nominated a couple of times, right?
He lost to Tom Hanks in 1994.
Yeah.
Tom Hanks won for Philadelphia. He beat out Daniel Day-Lewis, Lawrence Fishburne, and Anthony Hopkins and Liam Neeson. Wow. I think maybe
that's
he was
a strong
owed.
year.
He was owed something. It's like and Denzel Washington didn't get his Oscar for Training Day because it went to Kevin Spacey for American Beauty. So the next year they gave it to him for was it the tornado? I can't remember.
He might get it this year for Tragedy of Macbeth. That he's been nominated for that. So yeah, the actors in leading roles: Javier Bardem, Benedict Cumberbatch, Andrew Garfield, Will Smith, Denzel Washington.
I think Schindler's List was his big chance, and he was nominated, but he didn't get it.
That's a shame. He was very good in that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh dear, Tom Hanks always gets them, doesn't he?
I think the wood chopper, he's going to get nominated. I'm the wood chopper.
I am the man. Oh. No, did you actually remove him from the stream?
No, I didn't. I think Liam Neeson did. All right. Well, the thing, the comment about Adam Driver by Prince Zodiac, was evidently he's doomed. There's a scoop that he's been talking to MCU, and then they're speculating it's going to be Doctor Doom.
Oh dear, really? I don't like that. I don't want to depress Doctor Doom. I don't know. I don't think Adam Driver's right for the role.
You don't want a swollen Doctor Doom.
Don't want a wide Doctor Doom. He's too wide. You can't fit him in.
He's a sexy tree trunk.
Should we move on to DC?
Yeah.
All right. So DC films for 2022 movie reel. What did you make of it?
I thought it was cool. I thought it was awesome.
Thanks, Clint.
Pierce Brosnan at the end. I was like, yeah.
You gotta come with us. Why don't you come with us? All right. I'll go with you anywhere, Pierce.
Yeah. The Rock looked cool.
So do you think he's not going to be a villain in the movie?
I don't think so. I think he's going to be an anti-hero.
Yeah.
But what does that mean?
Redeeming qualities.
Yeah, it means you do what you got to do. And
so it means he kills people, and then
like
at the end he's going to be good. Okay, all right, fair enough. I just want him to be a villain.
Yeah,
I think it'd be cooler. But yeah, like so they're going to kind of team up, right? And who's going to be the villain of that? This Black Adam movie is a complete enigma to me. I don't know what that's going to be about. No idea.
I have no idea either. I don't know much about the Black Adam in the first place, but the
fact that you call him the Black Adam.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I'll be the first guy to buy the tickets, which I already got my tickets for Batman.
The Batman, I do too. Yes,
sorry, the Batman.
The Batman. I'm seeing it on March 1st.
I'll see it when it comes out 2 months later in the city.
Yeah, they got to do something about that. You got to open your own cinema or something. You know,
they had.
Go on.
I was gonna say they had IMAX an IMAX screening all over the place. That's gonna come out the same night as the premiere of the Batman, so that people across the country are all premiering at the same time. So I mean it's in a lot of theaters. I could have gotten tickets, but I'm supposed to have band practice that night, so I elected not to do it. And I'm going on that's on a Tuesday, and I'm gonna end up going to see it on that Wednesday. But yeah, but it's Yeah, I think that's pretty cool. I think a bunch of people. I guess their plan is for it to be seen and maybe social media buzz about how great it is. That's why they did that. But it's only in IMAX theaters. Pretty cool.
I'm really, really hoping for it to be amazing. I just want this film to be so good. I'll be so disappointed if it's not good.
I think if it sucked, they wouldn't have done that. You know what I mean? Because all of a sudden they'd have a pre-screening that, and these numbers don't affect opening weekend. These are separate. I mean, of course, it goes to their totals, but it doesn't. It like they're always trying to get the big opening weekend. So they're kind of sacrificing a bunch of first-time viewers that could have gone and seen it on the weekend. So they must have high hopes for it and must be very impressed by the way it looks.
I think so. Yeah, I think it's gonna. Well, what's that for? Is that from the
That's
Flash?
the Atom
movie?
from JSA. From Black Adam, because they're bringing the Justice Society.
That's pretty cool.
And then there's Hawkman.
Hawkman, yeah.
And can't remember her name. Oh, is that's not Our Man, no, or Our Woman?
No.
And then Dr. Fate looks cool. I love Dr. Fate. I loved him in his late '80s, early '90s run. It was really good.
That's definitely not Pierce Brosnan in the suit, though.
No. Well, do you want me to explain Dr. Fate for you, or we save that for another time?
No, go on. You can explain it. I have no knowledge of Dr.
Basically,
Fate.
like the mind goes into Dr. Fate, and then like the body is a different body. It's like and the mind is basically a vessel. Like the body is a vessel, and then the body transforms, but the mind of the person is still inside the helmet, inside the essence of Dr. Fate. So sometimes they control it. It depends who's writing, and sometimes they don't control Dr. Fate. They make a deal with him, like in Young Justice. Zatanna's father was the magic wielder, and he's the only one that could actually utilize Dr. Fate. And there was a deal where he'd be kept alive, and Zatanna would never have to go into Dr. Fate. You know, it's kind of like you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. You know, he'll just take anyone that's got magic abilities, but they'll make a deal, and then to keep the universe safe.
Interesting.
Yeah, Kaz says that's the Rock in the suit.
It probably is. It's a very buff guy in the suit. But okay, so in this film, because Pierce Brosnan is playing Dr. Fate, right?
Yep.
So he'll be just some guy
Dr.
with
Fate
magic.
His own character, and then it's whatever human is attached to Dr. Fate. So it happens to be Pierce Brosnan right now.
Do we know? Do we know what's his name?
I'm just looking it up now.
Okay. But because I mean, Dr. Fate is a very cool name.
And Nelson, yeah. So the original Dr. Fate in the DC Comics timeline.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. That's a. So basically, it's just is Dr. Fate? It's his own kind of entity.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
It's
So
like
he just
the big bad for magic. The big good.
The big good. So why does he have to have a human?
Because that's what ties him to this plane. Usually he's on the astral plane, right? So a human will ground him to Earth, and but he's a hero. But it depends how they write him, where they take his character, because in some stories he's more looking out for himself and protecting the world against magic, right? And protecting the world against these evil forces, and he doesn't really care, like how he has to protect it, like what and the ends justify the means, right?
Yeah.
So
cool.
I just hope Hawkman's not boring. Like they give him like a Justice League Unlimited kind of character and storyline, not like they did in what was it? Was it Legends of Tomorrow?
Oh yeah.
It was just so horrendous to try and watch that on Legends of Tomorrow.
I think I'm excited for all these films. The one I'm looking forward to the Batman the most. But I liked the look of the Flash movie. I think that film, there wasn't that much in it though. It's only a minute of the reel, so there's not too much to kind of talk about. But I thought it looked interesting, and the Black Adam doesn't come out this year, does it, or is it this year? Is it 2022?
It's all 2022. Yeah.
Okay, because that's why there wasn't Shazam 2, right? Because that's 2023. Because there was no Shazam 2 in that reel.
No.
No. Okay. I was wondering whether they might flip bring Shazam 2 into 2022 and the Flash push it to 2023, but looks like they're keeping that thing.
In earlier Flash teasers or images, did they show more than one Flash?
Yes. Yeah, they showed that last image, when you see the two Flash, is it? And then there's another character that I forgot who that is in that, but they showed that at DC Fandom.
Okay.
Because there's that whole scene when they're in the Batcave and you can see that it's Michael Keaton's Batman with the long pointy ears.
Yeah. And then 3 Flashes all pointing at each other. Oh, never mind. That's
they might do that, no. But I'm pretty excited for these films. I think that they look fun. I think the one that looks to me like it's going to be the more kind of serious comic book movie is the Batman. To me, that film just looks miles ahead of the rest. But I'm looking forward to the other films as well. Yeah. Right.
Like I said, I already got my tickets. I bought my tickets today. So
yeah, because tickets went on sale, and they've already sold out. I think the IMAX tickets in America have all sold out.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that mask.
Yeah. I don't know what to think of Ezra Miller. I'm going to be honest. He's a bit of a weird guy.
I didn't like him as a person or him as playing the Flash.
I think he's all right actually as the Flash. I think him as a person is a bit
in Justice League, but I did like him in Zack Snyder's. I thought he did really well. But I think everyone's like, oh, look at that. It's Steel from the Shaq movie. But I just think that that's like an old suit from some other timeline that he's wearing, and that's why it looks so goofy.
Yeah.
But
there will be explanations.
This looks good.
I think it looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
I like him.
Injustice vibes. So
I like him as the Flash a lot.
That's what I'm saying. He is weird in videos that I've seen him speaking. He is a weirdo, but I mean,
he's gender neutral. So
I didn't know that. Yeah, Well, Ezra Miller is definitely interesting, eccentric personality, and as the Flash is really entertaining. Like I watch the Flash, and I always have fun. You know what I mean? At first, I was like, are they trying to do a weird comedy type of take on this character? They're going to screw this character up. You know what I mean? It's how I felt when at first. That was my first kind of like 10 step. And then I said, no, I really like this version of the Flash where the Flash is just a little bit wacky. I'm in.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. I think it works for this universe that they've set up. I think, yeah.
That's a badass suit.
That is a badass suit. Well, is it John Wesley's ship in there? Is
from the 90s. Yeah.
God. Did he actually
I used to watch that show.
He was pretty buff, but there was padding, like his pecs, obviously. But like he was pretty buff, and the 6-pack there wasn't. I don't think was his.
Okay,
but he was pretty stacked during that show.
I used to watch that show on a 12-inch Magnavox TV, like a 12-inch Magnavox TV. I remember color. My mom won it in a raffle at Walmart, and yeah, we got this. Had this little bitty TV, and I used to watch that show.
Great memories, man. I remember watching it, and like the trickster comes in. I'm like, hey, that's Luke Skywalker.
Yeah.
I like how they brought him into the CW. Sorry, what was that, Edward?
He's just the Joker, isn't he? The trickster.
Yeah. And he came back in the CW, the Flash. Yeah. It was pretty neat. So
I thought that was like peak Flash to me, I think.
Mm-hmm.
When you had that season with the trickster.
Yeah.
I thought that was really good. And actually, I don't think we talked about this, but the Flash season 9. That they've negotiated or are negotiating a contract with Grant Gustin for the Flash season 9. That's the show I haven't watched in a long time.
I wonder if him appearing in the movie is gonna give a new little energy into the TV show. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think they need it.
Infusion of viewers, maybe. Like, hey, I'm gonna go watch that guy. I like him.
There we go. That's the great thumbnail that the great James made. Yes. Beautiful. Look at him
Nice.
looking so happy.
He's
He's
super
so
happy.
happy.
He gets to be in season 9.
He gets to be in season 9. He gets.
And he's wearing a costume that breathes with the mesh.
Yeah, and it's probably he's going to get over $200,000 per episode, 15 episodes. So he's good. He's all right. Hello there.
Hello there.
Hello.
Hello there.
That's coming out May 25th. The Obi-Wan Kenobi series.
I'm
That's
super stoked about that.
I think that's going to be like game changing for Star Wars. If it's not, I'll be really pissed off because they can't mess up this.
Oh, they will. They'll add in like not Vespa mods, but they'll add in like unicycle mods or something.
I'm wondering whether they'll add in Jar Jar Binks, like get him to come around.
I want him to come back.
I'd want that.
Sith Jar Jar. I want to see Sith Jar Jar.
I just got a
That's
mild
never
stroke.
gonna happen. Oh dear. Right, so moving on to the final bit, my main topic before we go on to Rumour time, and that's Reacher season 2 gets the green light. So you guys, no, we completely missed Rebel Moon.
Yeah,
go to Rebel Moon. Oh my god, we completely missed this. So yeah, the Zack Snyder revealed a lot of the cast for Rebel Moon. His upcoming
it was
Netflix
Henry
show.
Cavill and Jared Leto, right?
That's the one I saw, and I was like, "What?"
Yeah, I was as well a bit when I saw the tweet. But
I want to talk about that, but go ahead. Let's talk about this first, Edward, and then get into conspiracy theory.
One of my least favorite actors, Charlie Hunnam. I think he's just not very good. He's good in The Gentleman.
He was great in The Gentleman.
He's good in that film.
Otherwise,
no. But he's in this. Ray Fisher's in it. Then I want to just get the whole cast up. Sophia Boutella, Jenna Malone, Staz Nair, E. Duffy, Charlotte Maggie, Sky Yang. But then who was the other? Dishmon Honsu and Duna Bay. So Dishmon Honsu is pretty well known. He's in a lot of stuff. Duna Bay, she's been in some things, but I'm blanking on some of the things she's turned up in. But like Ray Fisher teaming up with Zack Snyder again is quite. She's a South Korean actress. She was in The Silent Sea. That was the thing I saw her in, and that's a Netflix show. And Kingdom and Sense8. Yeah, and so she's been in quite a lot of stuff. But what do you make of this cast so far? I think it's huge, like, and it's very diverse, which is something that Zack Snyder is. Charlie Hunnam is basically a male. You know what? Amber Heard does a better English accent than Charlie Hunnam does. That guy confuses me all the time because he's from Newcastle, but he does not sound like it. His accent goes.
Oh God, here we go.
But yeah,
Ray Winstone is a national treasure,
but cannot do an accent.
What do you think, Clint?
So Sophia Boutella, she's fantastic.
Wonderful.
I really like her. I think she's really good casting. She's really she's lovely, and everything I've seen her in, she's done well in. What's his name? Charlie Hunnam. What's his name? Charlie Hunnam.
Charlie Hunnam.
Yeah.
Hummus.
Hummus. There we go.
Hummus.
I like that. He's fine. I'm just kind of indifferent on him. You know, like I don't dislike him. Did you see that King Arthur movie that he did?
Oh, he was atrocious.
Was it terrible? I never saw that. I was always curious about that movie.
Yeah.
I don't care. I think the Ray Fisher is interesting. Like I'm curious. I'm
glad to see him cast in something again.
Yeah,
like,
I have a lot of thoughts about that. Like I wonder and hope that this like reinvigorates his career. You know, like when you get into it with a studio, whether you're right or wrong, or no matter what happens, I feel like if you're not already a superstar, I think like Scarlett Johansson's fine, you know what I mean? But but like Ray Fisher, I feel like people will be like, yeah, well done, man, or whatever, but then be afraid to cast him because like, oh, is this guy a troublemaker? Are we going to end up in trouble or not? I don't know.
Yeah, go ask any of the women from that Weinstein fucked over before the Me Too era.
Seriously,
like Good and
yeah. And, so like I think Zack Snyder being friends with him, this gives him a chance to do I'm not saying he doesn't deserve it for his acting, and he was fantastic in the Snyder cut.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's fantastic. Like we got to see the full story with him through the whole movie, and I was like, wow, he's great. I just think like it's really cool that he's going to get a second chance to do something where maybe people say, hey, he was great in that, and they get to forget about that other mess, and he gets to maybe go on, because he seems like a nice guy. I've seen him in some interviews and stuff. So I'm excited about that, because again, he was great, and who knows? I'm definitely excited about this series. Like I'm super excited.
Yeah, it's one of these movies that I think is going to end up becoming like
movies.
It's gonna become like a massive franchise, I think, for Netflix, like what they're planning with Red Notice. They're like doing 2 movies. I think they're going to end up doing the same thing with this. They're not going to put so much money behind it without them thinking this is going to be huge.
He spent a lot of time really mapping out this universe, from what I've read. It's like really.
Well, it was originally a Star Wars pitch, wasn't it? He pitched it to George Lucas, and they turned it down. But let's hope that it's good enough to just stand on its own 2 feet.
So you don't want it? I'll go make it on my own.
Well, he made it with Netflix.
Yeah, but he's making it on his own.
Yeah, with Netflix money.
No oversight from Lucasfilm is what I'm saying.
Which is probably better.
Yeah, they let him do what he wants. That's
no mod
apparently.
Vespas. Yeah, there might be loads of them. The whole movie is Mad Vespas.
Slow motion shots of the Vespas.
Yeah. Oh God. Slow motion, even slower motion shots of that twirl before the shot. But yeah,
is that an excuse to use it? Yes.
Bad.
Oh boy,
it just gets worse and worse. But
we should get Zack Snyder to make this. So come on, where's the Green Lantern, Kaz? There he is.
But no, should we move on to the news that we posted?
Let's talk about that tweet from What's on Netflix that Henry Cavill and Jared Leto were going to be in Rebel Moon. I still think they could show up as cameos, but here's the thing: that was an account imitating What's on Netflix, and I think what happened was it started to gain traction, and then Zack Snyder or the production company wanted to control the narrative, and that's why it forced them to drop the cast the next day. That's just my tinfoil hat.
No, and I think you're probably 100% right on that, because there were. I mean, the funny thing is that tweet did say that Ray Fisher had been cast, but it also added people like Jared Leto and Henry Cavill. Turns out that honestly, and like they said, like it was a Twitter account posing as What's on Netflix. What's on Netflix is a very well-respected outlet, and I actually know some of the guys that run it, and they I honestly I was confused when I saw the tweet, but because the way that this poser did the tweet was exactly how What's on Netflix do their tweets. They do it with like little, if you can bring it up, he did the picture exactly the same. Literally everything was the same, which is kind of what
profile picture. It's changed now, but
it's changed now, and he changed. But I didn't see the @ I'm going to be honest. I didn't. I thought it was What's on Netflix, but he probably changed that as well, because you can change that pretty quickly.
It was. I looked back. It was What on Netflix.
Was it What on? Okay, you see. So this guy really pulled a number on me, and I think and many other people, because in the end it got like over 1,000 likes and like loads of retweets and stuff. But they said that Sophia Boutella, Jared Leto, Billy Crudup, Ray Fisher, and Henry Cavill as the current cast members for the franchise. And because it was posing as what's on Netflix is like, this must be legit because what's on Netflix, I know that they have a subscription to Production Weekly, which is a thing that is way too expensive for me. I can't get a subscription to that. But they tend to that's how a lot of these, this is a bit inside baseball, but that's how a lot of sites get their scoops. They get it from a thing called Production Weekly, which tends to get casting official casting information before anybody else.
Yeah.
And so I was just, we updated the article. James very kindly went in there and updated it, and it's still up there. Should probably take it down at some point. I don't know, but I feel a bit silly.
Is it getting
about
clicks?
Yeah.
Let's just leave it up with the update. Let it read the whole thing, and then at the bottom it says, "Just kidding, this is false."
No, the update is the very beginning.
I think for integrity purposes, it's good to leave it up.
Yeah, well, but it's one of those, it's difficult because the people love to do this, and I fell for it. To be honest, James was the one that said that brought the tweets up. I hadn't even seen the tweet before. James was like,
"Yeah, I sent you the tweet, and I said, is this legit?" You're like, "Yeah, I know these guys at What's on Netflix." I'm like,
"Yeah,
but I'm like, and you're like, "No, it's good." I'm like, "Okay, we'll run with it."
I was just like, if it's What's on Netflix,
Try and put it on me, Edward. Come on.
Well, see it from my point of view. I saw What's on Netflix. Literally, his hashtag, his what are they called? His handle was What on Netflix.
Yeah.
I'm, maybe I'm slightly dyslexic. I didn't see the missing S. But I will admit that I did think it was a bit weird that the account had so few followers. But I was just like, maybe people don't really follow What's on Netflix on Twitter. That's what went through my head.
Well, the problem is I tried to find the real account by searching on Twitter, and I couldn't find them. Like a bunch of other stuff came up.
Yeah, they're quite difficult to find, but not anymore. If you type it on now, it comes up pretty quickly. But they're a company that have like What's on Netflix, What's on HBO Max, What's on Disney Plus. Honestly, their SEO game is on point. I'm a bit envious of them.
Well, there's 3 of them. Like this one at What's on Netflix has 346 followers.
Yeah,
and their last update was 2012.
But it's funny because What's on Netflix's actual Twitter handle is What on Netflix. So I think he had the handle What's on Netflix. It's confused. It's bloody confusing.
No, he had the handle. He had the handle What on Netflix. Like if you look,
because I'm looking at What's on Netflix right now on Twitter, and their handle is What on Netflix. Whatever this guy did, he's a bloody genius.
No, see, it's this guy.
Yeah, it's that guy. Yeah, but that's not what his Twitter handle, but he changed it all to look like exactly the same as theirs. And I told them this, and I said I told the guys this that run it, and they're like, "Oh yeah, this happens to us quite a lot." Like people posing as us.
That's funny.
Man. It must be a bit of a nightmare. It's like because God, like. Honestly, I don't know who went through all that. Like, I suppose it's not that difficult. You just copy and paste all. You basically just do everything that they've done and just mimic the thing. But it's sneaky, and we fell for it. So I feel very stupid.
Well, you look up What's on Netflix and Twitter. You get 3 accounts. Then there's What's on Netflix, and then they haven't updated since 2012. What's on _Netflix haven't updated since 2019. And then What's on Netflix 2 is What's on Netflix India. Right? And they have 8 followers. Yeah. And they updated February 13th, 2021. So, and I can't find the actual What's on Netflix account.
Because it's What on Netflix. It's at What on Netflix.
No.
It is. I'm literally looking at it now.
Is the real one or the fake one?
Oh, you know what he did? He only put 1 N.
Fucking
he's got it.
He's so clever.
How did he
do this?
Spoof the handle. That's weird, man. That's weird.
If he did it with 1 N, it would make sense. Maybe there's no L or something. Maybe it's What on Netflix.
No, like because I hover over the article and it's What on Netflix, and then the status, and it goes to the a la carte guy.
Wow.
And then I go to their actual account.
So he literally. So
Yeah.
I don't know how he did this, but he did something with Netflix with Twitter and completely duped Twitter. Well, anyway, this happened. he's a mastermind. No, but you're right. It is. He's got the exact same Twitter handle at the time. That's utterly insane. But anyway, his followers hasn't really gone up since, so it hasn't really worked. if that's what he wanted, if he wanted followers to go up, I think I don't know what he wanted out of this. Did he want an article like As basically to come out?
He's just a little shit, is what he wanted. That's all it was. He wanted to shake the snow globe, and apparently he did it.
But he also retweeted articles by people covering the news he created. He is a little shit.
Yeah.
It's quite funny though. Anyway, should we move on to Rumour time? Oh no, Reacher season 2. I'm completely all over the place.
Yeah.
Right. So Reacher season 2 has been greenlit. This is I'm very aware of the book. I read the Killing Floor, which is the book that the first season is based on. I haven't seen the whole season yet, but I know that you, Clint, and James have both watched the show. So, what did you think of the show, and are you excited for season 2?
James,
go. I think James is gone.
All right.
Sorry,
Yes,
go ahead, baby. I just said, go ahead, baby.
All right. I enjoyed the show. I loved it. I love this guy. I liked him as Hawk. And it was fun. I like the Jack Reacher movies, but from what I understand, if you read the books, it's hard to believe that Tom Cruise is this gigantic jacked dude. and this guy plays the part perfectly. It's the acting is solid. It's just a solid TV show. It's about the level of like Lucifer or something like that. It's not like like they're not going to get any crazy awards for like acting and stuff, but it's good entertainment. Just like when you watch a Burn Notice or something. It's just fun TV and it's easy to binge watch. And this guy is a beast, man. He kicks the crap out of people, and it's really fun to watch him be Jack Reacher. Like he just takes care of business. I watched the first like 4 episodes in a row without stopping, and then fell asleep. Next day I finished the show. It was real easy to binge watch, and I enjoyed it. And I hope we get 2 more seasons, because I'm ready for the next one. Again, it wasn't like amazing. And I won't say it's quite as cinematic as, say, something like the Jack Ryan series.
Yeah,
is a little. Yeah, it's a little closer. That's a little closer to a movie. This is a little more TV show. But I'm down for TV shows. You know what I mean? It was good. I enjoyed it.
I thought it was really, really good. I thought it was very cinematic in the first 3 episodes, especially the pilot. He's got that Jack Reacher stare down. I was kind of upset that spoilers for Titans, that they got rid of Hank, but this is why. And he was being underutilized anyways on Titans. He really showed that he's a really good actor in this series. I love the mysterious stranger coming into town, and like that whole character trope where they come in and they're like Kane and Kung Fu, wandering from town to town and stuff. And that's what I like about Reacher and his skill set. After episode 3, it got, like you said, more television like, but it still held up. I think towards the end, it got more like an action movie, especially that last episode was kind of fun. I'll give that a pass. But I really want to see a lot more seasons. I watched it in one sitting throughout the night, right? I couldn't sleep. And I was hooked instantly. I like how he had no dialogue for the first part of the first episode. That was good. The peach pie trope was excellent. I liked that. And I thought the supporting cast was really well done as well. There was no moments that made me feel embarrassed. It started to get a bit weighed in the last episode. We're just like, oh, there's that big explosion, and I don't want to ruin stuff for Edward, but even though you read the books, but no, I really enjoyed it. I think Amazon has been killing it with their series. You got Reacher, you got Jack Ryan, you got 000. I don't know if you guys have seen that yet, but I would.
Oh yeah, I need to watch
if you
it.
like Sicario, then you'll love 000. What else? Goliath.
The Wheel of Time they have, which is
Wheel
quite
of Time.
popular.
I haven't watched that yet, but
it's
Amazon
not very
Prime-
popular with the fans of the book, so
Yeah, but Amazon Prime has been killing it with these series. I think, and we made fun of them last year about their movies not doing so well and stuff, but in the series department, they're doing really, really well. So I'm looking forward to all new seasons of these shows. So
I still think that the best show on Amazon Prime is The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, which I think is terrific.
Isn't that Apple TV? Or
no,
Prime?
that's Amazon Prime.
I haven't seen that yet. So
it's really good, really, really good. Like that. That's like their stellar kind of TV cast. I think they've got like different tiers as far as I can see. They got this Reacher and Jack Ryan. They do these action series very well, which is why I'm looking forward to the Lord of the Rings, because
Yes.
I think they're going to do that. Although a lot of people are very upset with what the showrunners have said recently, which is they said this is not going to be like Game of Thrones. This is a show for everyone. So basically, it's going to be like Disneyfied Lord of the Rings.
I think they were saying that because of racial choices.
Was that why they were saying that?
For casting? Yeah, and like people were complaining about maybe elves being having certain skin tones and stuff, and so then and they were like, no, this is going to be a show for everyone. Like this is going to be a diverse cast and stuff. I think I'm almost positive that's exactly what they meant by that.
Okay, because I thought they meant that it was kind of like everyone could watch it kind of thing. No, but he said for me to make it's a show for everyone for kids who are 11, 12, and 13.
That also could have been a clickbait from some article that I scrolled over to.
I mean, I think they have been that there has been talk about the fact that they've been quite like diverse with their casting and people not liking that. But if that's the case, then those people can just go away.
Exactly.
And I've actually just realized this article's half finished that I've put up, so I've got to go finish it.
Which one, the Reacher or the?
No, the Lord of the Rings one. I've just forgot to put a video in, basically, and so maybe someone over there, Danielle, can help me out with that one.
All right, but I really hope that, and I think Clint, they're gonna probably, now that Reacher season 1 has done so well, they'll up the budget for season 2.
Yeah.
And it won't be as like small town close thing. Like I don't know what book they'll adapt next, but I'm looking forward to it a lot.
The next book is...
At first, the detective kind of got under my skin. The Boston detective.
Oh, he does in the book as well, though.
Yeah, and then you learn to love him in the show. Like I really liked him by the end. But at first I was like, I don't know if I like this character. It's just kind of.
Did you think the acting was over the top for him, or was just
a little bit? It was just a little bit of a like a trope. You know what I mean? It was just a little bit overdone. Like I'm supposed to be the stuffy, educated guy. We got the tweed suit and the glasses and like
horn rim glasses. Yeah.
Yeah, it just seemed like a little bit of a generic thing and. But how'd you like that? When there's an episode when he's in prison, they put him in jail in the gen pop.
Yeah.
And dude, there's a scene in a cell and there's another scene somewhere else. And like, I don't want to spoil anything, but I'll just say, dude, that guy for just the size and looking like he can just destroy somebody, like that's Reacher's supposed to be able to do that, and man, they pull it off in that episode because just like holy smokes.
It's those moments in the series that is what I really like in different shows that do this, is where that character has control of the whole situation. It's going to go down, they're going to kick ass, but it's how they execute it and what kind of strategy they use, right? Like, and it started. That the bathroom scene, it started and then I got interrupted somehow, so I paused it and I rewound it to start it from the beginning of that scene because I want to experience it, the whole build up to it and everything. It's just I really enjoyed it. I like that kind of filmmaking for sure, especially in series.
just like when I was a kid, I remember seeing there's a Steven Seagal movie where he goes in and he's trying to find out who killed Johnny Lupo. He goes in and he ends up talking casually with these guys, and he's very casually has a bar towel, and then very casually gets a cue ball out, and then he's talking, and next thing you know, they're coming after him, and he takes out the whole bar with a cue ball and a towel. And I remember getting so stoked when that, and I still get excited about that scene. I love that scene. He takes out the whole bar. I had those vibes in this. I was just like, yes, dude, totally kicking ass. Yeah,
there are elements of that with like films like Nobody and the John Wick movies as well. It's like you can just tell that they're from the moment, like even before we think an action scene has started, or they're just calculating what to do and what they're gonna, and that's the best sort of action. And I remember I watched both Reacher movies with Tom Cruise, and first I just thought you just cannot believe like. I mean, it's weird because you kind of believe him as Ethan Hunt, and you think, but Ethan Hunt's a bit different. Ethan Hunt doesn't really get into fist fights, really. Like, and when they do, it's kind of scrappy. But as Jack Reacher, you just think, no. Like, I remember from the minute you see it, you have all those guys surrounding him, and it just doesn't feel right.
I haven't read the books. I have them. I always been trying to get to read them, but I saw the first Jack Reacher movie. It was good, and I was like, yeah, Tom Cruise is good in this role, and the way they executed the fight scenes, it was like, yeah, he's a badass. Okay, that's good. The second one by Christopher McQuarrie was amazing, and that you got to give it up for that director. Like, he did a great job in that film.
I haven't seen. I think I only saw the first one.
You got to see the second one. I mean, I don't have
to work well together.
And I knew that Jack Reacher is supposed to be 6'5", 6'7", and like 280 pounds and stuff, and but it didn't bother me, like suspension of disbelief, Clint. You know what I mean? Like I was like, all right, it's Tom Cruise. But it was funny when he took his shirt off. You could tell Tom Cruise was sucking his gut.
Yeah,
that was funny.
Those movies were good. Like the Tom Cruise Jack Reacher is good, and I've never read the books though, so I don't have that to compare it to. But like, I enjoyed those movies. I've been trying to get Curtis to watch those movies, and he hates Tom Cruise in an action sense. He's just like, no, I'm not.
A lot of people do, man. A lot of people don't like Tom Cruise.
To him,
what are you talking about? He's been in some of the best action movies ever made.
Yeah,
I know.
But to Curtis, like it's like Tom Cruise is sliding in on his socks, and then he's gonna kick some ass. You know what I mean? I'm like, dude, it's not. It's there's other stuff.
The last Mission Impossible movie was incredible. Like that film was so good. Like, and Tom Cruise is he's an actor that you don't get that much anymore. I think it's like, I put Tom Cruise and kind of Keanu Reeves in the same. I think Tom Cruise is a better actor than Keanu Reeves as far as acting is concerned, because you'd never get Keanu Reeves doing something like what Tom Cruise did in Rain Man.
There's a different range, though.
Yeah, I think he's got more range to him. But he takes his movies so seriously as well, which I really love. And I read the first two Jack Reacher books, and watching Tom Cruise in Jack Reacher, I'm like, this is not a Jack Reacher movie. They've just used the name. This is a Tom Cruise action movie that they just wanted to get some kind of recognizable franchise, series involved in. But
he read the books and he was like, I want to be Jack Reacher.
But but the minute you read the books, you're like, well, there's no way that you can't. That the books make such a big deal out of him being a giant. So casting Tom Cruise is just so ironic. It's like literally Hollywood's shortest actor that has, not only that, he has a real chip on his shoulder about his height. You can tell he's like, I think his IMDb profile page lists him as being taller than he actually is. It gets to that. But he's a really good action movie star, and no one runs on screen as well as Tom Cruise does. Like, Tom Cruise is running.
Some people just don't like him. Because
of his Scientology.
There's so many. No, not even like his personal stuff in his life. Just so many people I've met in my life. They're like, no, I can't stand Tom Cruise. I can't watch him in a film. Like, wow, how come? And they're like, no, I just don't know why. I'm like, I think he's a great actor. I like watching his movies. But to go back to what you said about the size, Edward, I really like how in Amazon Prime they really showed that. You know, they really showed the size of Reacher in this, and the cuff gag was pretty funny, and you know, and they always showed like, you know, like his love interest, cop. She was so tiny that it made him look even bigger, especially when his hands around her and stuff. You know, so
yeah, he's just a giant. But that's I mean, as far as Tom Cruise is concerned, it's like, you know, that he's got he's had an incredible career, and it's like you look at this, like Interview with a Vampire was one of my favorite films growing up, and he's just so good in that. And like Rain Man is another one. Like not only I'm thinking like there aren't many actors like him around. Like yeah, and I don't get the hate towards Tom Cruise. Like if you don't like him because you have some, you know, history with the Church of Scientology or something, yeah, I get that. But you can't criticize him as an actor. He's a very good actor,
dude. That Alan Richson is only 6'2", but they make him seem he's supposed to be 6'5" in the show, but they make him seem like he is. And what's her name? Willa Fitzgerald is she's 5'5", but they make her seem like she's tiny compared to him. Like James was saying, it's incredible.
I will say Tom Cruise has a weird body. He has a really weird body.
Yeah,
it's the I think it's the body of like a climber. I think he's quite a very keen climber, isn't he? And he's kind of got those kind of, it's kind of weird.
I think he's some big muscles on his shoulders, and they just fell down to his waist.
but good for is it Alan Rickman?
Alan Richson.
Right?
Yeah. He got
not Alan Rickman.
No,
cancel Christmas.
He got incredible shape for the show. Like he just compared to what he was in Titans, and then before that it was Aquaman. It was hilarious, but like he's built in this. I think he went and knocked on the Rock's door and said, "Hey, can I have some human growth hormone and show me what you do?"
He's jacked.
He's big guy in this. So that's the show I'm gonna be watching, because in March I'm gonna be taking a couple of weeks off. 2 weeks off and going skiing. So I'm gonna watch this. This is one of the shows that I'm gonna watch when I'm over there. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, it's just a fun, easy to watch TV show. You know what I mean? It's not rocket science, but it's just fun. It's a good watch.
It's super interesting too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I think we'll quickly go over rumor time.
Oh, wow.
Which is, so first bit of rumor is that apparently Keaton's got 3 more DC Comics movies in him. What do you think about that?
I will watch Michael Keaton do anything. I think he's fantastic. I was saying, dude, I was like, only 3? I thought he had like 10 more movies coming. Like, he's going to be Beetlejuice doing comic book movies. He's going to actually be dead. He's going to be doing comic book movies for 3 decades. I think it's great, dude, because that means more Batman, and the more Batman you get, the better life is. So as far as I'm concerned, that's great. He's going to be mentoring. I'm sure they're going to have.
I think we're going to get more Bruce Wayne, you know, instead of more Batman. So
and he'll be mentoring people, old man Batman mentoring Batgirl and Nightwing and everybody else. He's going to be the glue that holds this. They'll just say, hey Bruce, we need you, like they did with Tony Stark, you know what I mean, in the Spider-Man stuff. So
yeah,
it'll be fun. I think it's good.
I think it's a really clever thing to do, to have him more involved, because I actually think Michael Keaton is a really good Bruce Wayne. And I think he would make a perfect, like, old Bruce Wayne, and kind of, he'll be a bit grouchy, I think. And I'm really looking forward to seeing Michael Keaton do that. And if you've seen him in the makeup for the Flash movie, they've really aged him up. I mean, Michael Keaton looks really good for his age, you know. But they've given him that kind of really gray hair, like that. I think he has quite gray hair. But I just remember seeing the picture of him. I just thought he looked great. He looked like really well done, and I just thought they got the makeup spot on and the hair spot on for him as well. And yeah, I think what they're going to do is, I mean, the Scoop or whatever it was said that it was going to be 3 movies. I do wonder whether they'll be like either one of them might be a series, or they might be straight to HBO. One of them might be a straight to HBO Max movie, like the Batgirl film that he's doing, which will be a kind of an interpretation of the Batman Beyond animated series. Whereas it's as opposed to it being Batman, it'll actually be Batgirl that he's mentoring, and probably Nightwing as well. So I really like that. I think it's going to. They gave him more hair. That's what they did. They gave him. I think he's wearing a wig, so they gave him a bit more hair. But I think it's going to be terrific seeing him. I mean, again, I haven't heard anything personally about it being 3 movies, but I more Michael Keaton is a good thing.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Yeah, he'll be the rich guy that's giving the suit to the other people. It's going to be a very familiar story.
Yeah, completely agree.
Yeah.
Sorry, an error's turned up on my page. No, but the next rumor is that there's a Men in Black live action series in the work. Why are you laughing? Are you laughing? Sorry.
I cleared my throat.
What do you think of that, guys?
I think that could be fun if it's done right. like if when you're talking to series, you know what I mean? Like there've been some really bad series out there. So I mean, if they do it right, it could be fun. And you could have that little gun from Star Wars. They could have that back in Men in Black again, and it'll be great.
This is actually something that I am actually really quite interested in, because I love the Men in Black series. I love the first 2 movies. I think they're really, really good fun. The third film was not good, and Men in Black International was terrible, really bad. What I think because I was thinking quite a lot about this, actually, weirdly enough, because I was like, if they make a Men in Black series, it would be really kind of filling a gap in the market. There isn't anything like that sort of thing on TV. Like it's a franchise about a secret organization hunting aliens. The closest we got to that was like Fringe. Well, not really Fringe, but like Fringe was sci-fi, but like the X-Files. And we haven't had anything like the X-Files on TV for such a long time. And there was also, I don't know if you guys remember, but there was the Men in Black animated show.
Yeah.
Which I really loved. I really loved that growing up. And I really do think if they're clever, I think it's Sony that owns the rights now. I think that if they're clever about it, they could make something really good. If this rumor's to be believed.
It's the perfect recipe for a TV show, though. It's like every
really
show. It's like when you watch Burn Notice. Every episode of Burn Notice is pretty close to the same thing. It's like, okay, you're gonna have Burn Notice. It's like, oh, they have somebody who's in trouble. The mob is harassing my mother-in-law, and then blah blah blah, and they go pay a visit and they check it out. Then they go pull some scam on the mob, and then everything is cool, and then they keep the money and leave. Whatever. It's like you can easily do that with Men in Black, where it's like, oh, we have this thing, and there's some weird behavior over here, and they go in every time they go and make house calls or do the thing and find out somebody's been screwing up, and it's easy. It's an easy way to make a TV show.
Let's just get the original actors a cameo, Clint.
I don't know. That's an excellent question. I don't know, but as long as they're not doing the RIPD and they're doing this instead, I'll be a happy camper. Can you imagine that TV show?
Still haven't seen that movie, or I haven't seen Men in Black International either.
Don't bother. Men in Black International. Don't bother with either of those. They're both bad. Men in Black International
is the worst thing I've ever seen.
Are they? And that's from someone that likes everything. But honestly, Men in Black International was just so poor, so poor. I thought Men in Black 3 was bad, but compared to Men in Black 4. I mean, there were rumors. I remember a while back there were rumors that they were going to do a crossover between Men in Black and Jump Street.
Yeah,
and I liked that idea. I thought that would have been fun, but I don't know what's happening with that anymore.
That would have been right up there with like Beetlejuice Goes Hawaiian.
It's something that I would have liked to have seen, but
Beetlejuice Goes Hawaiian.
Both, yeah, Beetlejuice Goes Hawaiian and Men in Black. Men in Black in Jump Street, or whatever they would have called it.
Machete in Space.
Is that happen? Did that happen? Right, that film.
He did a trailer for it, but it's
did it not happen?
Haven't made the movie yet. No.
Right. Final bit of rumor time, and that's the well, it's not really rumor time, but it's more like Norman Reedus has been talking about playing Ghost Rider in the MCU. So there have been lots of rumors that he's been in talks with Marvel for Ghost Rider. He is apparently desperate to play this role. He's actually saying, "I've got my fingers crossed." What do you think of that cast? Like that potential casting? Do you like it?
I don't think it gets better than that. Honestly, Norman Reedus is cool. Motorcycle,
Yeah.
he's associated with that. You know, I mean, they're not going to give him a crossbow, but other than that, it's like you could make a better role for him to play. Women love him. You know, guys think he's cool. I mean, he's just he's perfect. I think like it's a perfect bad boy character for this guy with a bad boy reputation. He fits. It's perfect. In fact, he's almost typecast for this role, where there's not many other roles that I think he could get away with.
I wonder whether he might be a bit too old to play the role. That's all. That's the only thing that comes to mind when I'm like, when you're thinking about Ghost Rider, what the MCU might want to do. It's Nicolas Cage. Bring him back. Who knows? He might turn up in Doctor Strange too. But Ghost Rider is going to be a weird character, I think, for the MCU to try and fit in. I'd be interested to see if they do it, how they do it. But I would love to see Norman Reedus. I would love to see that. I think he's great. What do you think, James?
Yeah, as long as he can play a good Johnny Blaze or whatever version of Ghost Rider it is in human form, then I'm all for it. You know, Reedus is a real life motorbike man. Yeah,
he is. Yeah, he is. Like
he's also in the Walking Simulator by Hideo Kojima too. So.
What did you not like that Death Stranding?
I haven't played it yet. I haven't played it. I know Kaz has played it like 3 times or something.
I haven't played it, but I did play PT, which was the playable teaser for the Silent Hills video game, which was brilliant. And he was he was in that. I played that quite a few times. It was really good. I think my brother's got it on his old PS4.
Justice for Hideo Kojima.
Well, I heard a lot of negative things about Death Stranding. I don't know. I've never played it. I can't anymore. I sold my PlayStation 4 because I got an Xbox instead. Yeah.
How do you feel about it, Edward? Do you think he should be Ghost Rider?
I think it's one of those it's like a fan casting thing, isn't it? It's like something that fans would love to see, but I think if you're a casting director, I think you might be quite wary of it and might want to stay away from someone like Norman Reedus, mainly because the guy is he is pretty famous. He's pretty well known, and Marvel tends to shy away from that sort of casting. And then also you've got, is it Diego Luna, who plays Ghost Rider in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.? And I actually think he is so good, and he looks even better now because I've seen him in person. The guy is just so hot, and he's got this long hair going on at the moment. And I just think the way he looks now, perfect for Ghost Rider. So I would more be in line of getting Diego Luna to come back and play him rather than Norman Reedus. But that's just me personally. I mean, I think Norman Reedus would do a really good job, and I think he's a really good actor. But I just think it's one of those fan casting things that's never really going to come true. I don't know.
Yeah, he's born in 1969, so he's
he's not a young guy.
He's getting up there.
Yeah. But I think that's it. I think that we've gone through the whole docket. Is there anything else you guys want to add before we wind the show down?
Yes.
Wow. Like that you came into Small Screen Stories and did that the other day, and it gave me such a fright. Because I was just going through my thing, and then all of a sudden, I was like, "What the hell?"
I said I could totally mess you up and interrupt you, but I'm not going to. And you're like, no, it's okay. I'm like, well, now that you gave me permission, I restrained myself.
You did. You like? There you go. There it is again. Right. I haven't done one of these in a while. Clint, where can we find you?
You can find me on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter, the OG Clint Baker. And you can also find me on YouTube right there.
No, that's gone. That's quick.
I gotta fix the
James.
channel link on that one.
That's all good.
Yeah,
I'll get there.
yeah.
Yeah, just look for Clint Baker on YouTube. You'll find me.
That's good. James, what are you up to? Where can people find you?
At Small Screen and at 42.com.
Awesome. Where can they find me? On the internet. There you go. You can find me on the internet. Yeah, links everywhere. Small Screen Co. There you go. If you want to follow me, you can follow me at EJ Lauder. There you go. Right.
If you want to follow me, you can find me at What on Netflix. JK.
Well, what is this new music? Is this a new like StreamYard thing?
Yeah, they got like songs on the bottom now that you can put in there. That's royalty free.
There you go.
Some nice elevator music for us while we talk.
Yeah. Hello, welcome to the Small Screen Show.
Hello and welcome to the Small Screen Show. And remember, wherever you go, there you are.
Maybe you should end it with that. It's that time of the night as well. It's 3 o'clock in the morning, which is when those shows tend to kick off, isn't it? Welcome to Smooth Jazz Hour.
Yeah, we just gotta. So Clint, so how is your week going? we do that when
fuck you.
know, when the dad is away, we play. Yeah.
The mice will play.
All right.
Right. Should we end
Thanks
it?
for watching, everyone.
Thanks, guys.
No matter where you go, there you are.